This is an ice block. I took some water and I put it in a plastic container and I put it in the freezer for a couple of days, and now I have a nice big ice block. If this fits in your cooler, that's great. Ice is expensive, and this is a very cheap way to make ice. Just use your freezer, a container, and some water. You can see I have some nice ice available for the cooler. Sometimes the ice block is too big to fit into your cooler, and what I do then is I just take the ice block and I chop it up. So first I have to get it out of the container. In this case, I'm going to use hose water, and I'm going to use a piece of plywood so the ice falls down and it doesn't get too dirty. And now the water melts the outside of the ice around the container, and the ice block comes out very quickly. It's very nice like this. Now you have a real nice ice block, and it's all nice and clear. So this isn't going to fit into my cooler, so I need to chop it up into smaller pieces. And I'm going to put it into a plastic bag like this, just so that when I chop up the ice block, the pieces of ice don't go flying all over the place. They're kind of contained, and the ice stays clean. So now I'm going to take a hatchet and I'm going to chop the ice block into smaller pieces. Of course, I'm going to use safety glasses, and when you have a hatchet, you have to make sure that your follow through ends up in the ground and doesn't hit you in the leg. So check your follow through, swing very slowly, and make sure that it ends up in the ground and doesn't end up in your leg, because the hatchet is very short. So if you don't bend your knees and crouch forward, you can sometimes have a problem. So this follow through swing ends up in the ground, and that's the way it should be. You can see it will not end up in my leg. If you have a bigger axe, there's less risk of this with a longer handle. So now I'm going to do, because I've checked my follow through swing to make sure that it doesn't end up hurting me accidentally or injuring me. Now I'm just going to do a couple of quick chops with a hatchet, and now I have some ice blocks. This is really good. So these ice blocks will end up in the cooler. This is going to go really, really well. And there are the ice blocks. They look pretty good. It's nice clear ice. Now I can take them out of the plastic bag and put them into the cooler. It's pretty simple to do this. There we go. And here's the cooler. Now I just put the ice blocks into the cooler, and that is pretty good. Now I can put my food on top of the ice, and everything will work perfectly. There's the ice. Big pieces of ice melt much slower than the little ice cubes, and you get more ice for your volume. So because there's not lots of little air pockets between the ice cubes, because the ice cubes are bigger. So now I have some nice ice, and that's good. It's in the cooler, and it's ready to go. See, I always make sure I put my feet, spread my feet apart, and bend my knees and lean forward, and this makes sure that the follow through ends up in, or the follow through swing of the hatchet ends up in the wood or in the ground, and this makes sure that it doesn't end up in my foot. Everything is nice and safe, so even if there's a deflection, there's no problem. Remember to check your follow through swing before you start chopping with your hatchet. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.